and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management. You walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Ball is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be trouble now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? It's hot now. It's hot now. It's hot. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all these people get Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. So much crying from him. He's a man. He can be hit just like this. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. When you step on the field, man, guess what I did? When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had to work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, these dogs are in the house. We're not going to run them home early. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, kyokradio.org, and on YouTube, Roku, Twitter, Twitch. And on that Roku, if you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV, and you got us. You got us along with some other really great shows. So be sure and check out the entire lineup on BS3 TV. Glad to be a part of that with Ben Sutter III. All right, it's Freestyle Friday. Lot to talk about. Got a guest that's going to be joining me to help me out with all this today because, man, some of this stuff is just like, wait, what? Like the Rockets defense last night, 142 to 111. What? Wait, what? That Kevin Hart commercial for Sirius Radio. Wait, what? Where was the defense last night, Rockets? I mean, did they ban defense like they're trying to ban voting? I mean, I don't get it. Are the Rockets like the truckers up in Canada where they're just protesting defense? Rockets, they said play defense, not get a vaccine. Man, I'm going in today, man. I'm just going. You've lost 7 in a row heading in to the All-Star break. Thank God Almighty for the All-Star break. Never has the All-Star break meant more to a team than these Rockets. Like, they need to be off the court. They need to be off the court. Don't practice. Don't work out. Just sit down. At the TSU basketball games this past Monday, with men and women, when somebody fouled out, they played this trap song to just say, "Well, sit down. Well, sit down." And everybody's like, let's sit down. That's what the Rockets just need to do right now. Because I'm telling you, what they're doing right now is not working. You can't give up 145, 142 points and expect to win anything. I know they're young. I know Coach Silas is doing all he can. But bruh, he got to go old school Perry Clark with the two-lane green wave when the first starting five couldn't get it done. He pulled all them jokers out and put a whole different five in, and they run it. Let's go. Perry Clark would pull out the whole starting five and run a whole different five in there, and baby, they was running cats off the court that year. If the starting five couldn't get it done, he put in another five, and they would run it. They made the most of their opportunities. The Golden State Warriors, when they was running through 73 and 9, they had a whole different five that they would bring in that could literally be a starting five for somebody else. Bruh, if Jalen Green don't want to play any defense, Kevin Porter Jr., Jayshawn Tate, Sagoon, Christian Wood, if they don't play defense, man, go down that bench and play duck, duck, goose. You, not you. You, not you. I mean, you what's the Rockets record? Wait, hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. Stay right there. Stay right there. Rockets record. Rockets are 15 and 43. So you in like the last place of the last place teams. Like whoever's last, you behind them. Why not try a whole new five? You got them on the team, you paying them a check, run them through there. Look, hey, yo, go on in. Me? Yeah, you. I'll never go in. Go in now. Play some defense. Man, that was embarrassing last night. That was embarrassing. To the Clippers. Not Phoenix. Not Milwaukee. Not Chicago. The Clippers. Wow. All right, Rocket fans, here's to you. Here's to you. All right, let me take a break. If you want to end Freestyle Friday, look, you set whatever you want to talk about on the menu today. I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. It don't even have to be sports related. Hit me up, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or text me, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. You can also email me at aj@kyoksports.com, aj@kyoksports.com. I'm ready for today, Freestyle Friday.
Your car payment treating you. What if I told you you could make a free phone call right now and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Look at your car payment closely. You could be paying as high as 20% interest. Rate Genius can help you reduce your car payments by reducing your interest rate to as low as 2.48% APR. We can refinance most existing car loans or leased cars, new or used, and save you money every month. Put more money back in your pocket. The call is free to find out how low we can lower your car payment. 5 minutes of your time right now could save you hundreds of dollars a year. Call Rate Genius now.
800-811-4169. 800-811-4169. 800-811-4169. That's 800-811-4169.
Not applicants qualify for a loan or rate savings. Actual offer terms including APR are determined at the time of your application based on credit worthiness, value, and the vehicle loan term and other factors.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need need affordable health insurance. Call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
I am Jacqueline Carr, and here is your winning strategy. When I grew up, my dad understood that our family could use growth in our finances.
Thank you.
He connected with someone who dealt with finances daily, and he surrounded himself with like-minded people who wanted to do better financially as well. Finance is a desired area we all want to see improved. According to the Bible, we should be the lender and not the borrower. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in this season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. You can find that in Deuteronomy 28:12. To acquire such a position, we must tap into the way of thinking, that way of thinking.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Get your refund faster with direct deposit to a Deep Blue debit account.
Deep Blue.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment, and let's end taxiety. Liberty Tax. Faster access to funds based on comparing refunds via direct deposit versus a mail paper check. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, man. We back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Streaming live, KYOKradio.org, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Roku. Like that. It's like that. I got people asking me all the time, how'd you get on Roku? Ben Sutter III, BS3 TV. Yup. Glad to be in the family. You can be down too. If you want to know, holla at me. Holla at me. I get your Roku hooked up. All right? So anyway, I was just shouting out to some of the folks on the BS3 network. I'm in a group with them when they do messages. There's a new, it's called New Cats Talk. New Cats Talk every Wednesday. Terry Brown and Benny Hardy talk about all things UK basketball up in Lexington, Kentucky. And I was a big time, and I mean big time, UK Wildcats fan growing up. Loved them. Had a point guard by the name of Dickie Beal. Loved him. Used to get in trouble with my family. One of my cousins played center for the Cincinnati Bengals. Jelly Jones was his name. I mean, Cincinnati Bearcats. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the football team. Jelly Jones, my cousin, dad's side, played center for the UC Bearcats, and he hated that I was a big UK fan. I'm like, bro, what? I mean, I rock with you too. Like, I rock with you too, but Dickie Beal was a little cat, kind of, not real skinny, but he can handle that rock, man. He was the fastest thing with a basketball that I had ever seen. And then Rex Chapman came along, before the days of white guys being able to jump out of the gym. Rex Chapman was able to, he had like a 38, 39-inch vertical. That dude would slam on you like crazy. Kenny Skywalker was the man back then. But my heart always got broken because some kind of way, Duke, one year LSU got them. My heart would be broken because the UK Wildcats would get upset by some team, and that's what, that's all it was. And then they brought in Tubby Smith, and I was in love with him again. So if you want some good basketball chat, New Cats Talk. New Cats Talk. It's called, it's a basketball podcast talking about UK basketball. AJ, you down in Texas. How come you're not talking about U of H basketball? You know, they rocking. They rocking. They got a win last night, didn't they? Number 14, U of H, knocked off Central Florida, ending a 2-game losing streak. They beat them 70-52. So, yeah, they good. They good. They good. What do the basketball rankings look like right now? What do the basketball rankings look like right now? Let me see. Finna go to the rankings. See what's happening in basketball. College basketball men rankings right now. Here we go. Gonzaga in the AP is number 1. Is it Gonzaga or Gonzaga? My name is Andre. I like to put an accent on things. I like to put a random accent aigu on some things and give it a different flavor. That's why I can't say pecan. I got to say pecan. Got to put a little accent on it. Auburn, number 2. Arizona, with they cheating selves. Is that head coach they used to have? Is he in jail yet? They had a big FBI investigation. Did they get him yet? And there they are, the UK Wildcats of Kentucky at number 4. I can't stand their coach, John Calipari. Boy, they ought to investigate him like they do random drug testing. John Calipari should be on a regularly scheduled NCAA investigation cycle. Like they ought to drop by at random times and just start pulling boxes out of his office. You know how the FBI shows up and then all of a sudden they carrying out, these boxes and bags with stuff in it. That's what they need to do on him not saying he's doing anything, but I'm just saying check regularly. Check regularly. You know what I'm saying? They need to put an informant inside his coaching staff. Need to be recording everything he says on and off the court. Just saying. But there they are. They're at number 4. This might be UK's year. With all that one and done stuff, when's the last time UK won a chip? Number 5, they got Purdue. Number 6, another coach that should be investigated on the regular, Bill Self over there at Kansas. Just need to be, hey, Bill, it's your random routine investigation. Who have you recruited? Where did you find them? Give us the deets. We need all phone records, emails. We need to know everything. Who on your staff recruited them? How did they even know they exist? We need all of that today, right now. Yeah, but I got to go to practice. Yeah, before you go to practice, we need this stuff right now. Yeah, man. Plant somebody on his staff. Find out what's going on with that. That dude there, Bill Self. I wouldn't buy a brand new car from him. All right, number 7, Baylor. Number 8, Providence. Look at Providence at 21-3. Number 9, Duke. Boy, I tell you what, Coach K is something. The president of the university wanted to bring in a brother to replace Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, after he retired, wanted to bring in a Duke legend, Tommy Amaker. And Coach K pulled a fast one, made some phone calls. Look, Tommy, if you come back to Duke as the heir apparent head coach, it's going to be real tense between you and the guy I picked. Tommy Amaker over at Harvard, rocking things over there at Harvard, and was told by the legend, don't come back, we're going with another coach, and you'll make things awkward if you come back. Bruh, that is crazy. I'm telling you, man. We were talking about these subconscious racial biases. There you go. There you go. There you go. I mean, I'm not saying he did it on purpose or he was malicious or he was discriminating, but it's a subconscious racial bias. He clearly did not think about how that might look. And people who don't have to deal with that don't even think about stuff like that when it happens. I'm Coach K, bruh, winningest basketball coach of all time. But doesn't make him perfect. Does not make him perfect at all. Lied to the media about what he said to a kid from Oregon who torched them, bounced them out of, was that in a tournament game? I'm not sure if it was a tournament game or just a regular season game. Kid from Oregon torched them and was talking smack throughout the game. And Coach K went over to him after the game and got in his ear hole and said some stuff he had no business saying. Folks wanted to know what he said, and he flat out L-I-E-D'd. Coach K, greatest of all time, flat out lied. Got caught. You know, the media is smart, man. There's some people in the media, man. You just don't want them on your trail. They're lip readers. They got audio in places you don't know they have audio, and they got the audio of what he actually said. Like, yo, coach, you said you told the guy great game and good luck in his career. The audio said you told him that was disrespectful, and he had no business talking to your players like that. Which one was it? Then all of a sudden it's I don't remember. Coach K lying his way out of Duke. He'll go down in history. There'll be statues all over the place about him. And then number 10, you got Villanova. Number 11, Texas Tech, best team in Texas, not named U of H. Texas Tech. Number 12, Illinois. Number 13, last year. Had a great tournament run last year. See if they can get back this year. Number 14, U of H, 21-4. Love them. Number 15, Wisconsin. 16, Tennessee. 17, USC. 18, The Ohio State University. 19, who cares? 20, UT. There they are. 19-7, top 20. Top 20. I'm serious. I know I've gone hard on UT. I know I've gone hard on them, but I got respect. I do. I got respect. I like the way I saw Coach Beard make adjustments in one of the games that they were playing. They were jacking up threes and down by like 20. And then they started using their size and good fundamental basketball. They turned around, won that game. But then they tried it the next game to dominate on the inside, and that game plan didn't work. They ended up getting beat. So I feel like UT is still a team that has not quite yet gelled. Their chemistry is not quite 100. They brought in a lot of players from the portal and, with Chris Beard and what have you, a lot of coaches from different places. So they're still mixing the mix. They're not 100 yet. So I'm not going to be on as tough on them as I've been. I think Chris Beard is a good coach. I pay attention to adjustments. I pay attention to situation. I don't just look at the score, the hottest player. Oh, that was a great three. No, I'm looking at the play that was run to set up the three, the movement of the basketball, what you do defensively, how you attack the rim, how you attack the glass for rebounds. And Chris Beard's got some good fundamentals that he's teaching these young men. It's just got to gel. It's just got to gel. Just got to gel. I love seeing my namesake out there back with the UT Longhorns. Young man overcame cancer, and he's back out there. He's my namesake. We got the exact same name, and I love seeing him out there. I'm super proud of him. Keith Hennig, Chris Beard is the real deal. Maybe not this year, but so I'm going to agree with that. And see, this is why I tell you, stop calling me a hater just because I call your team out honestly. They're not there yet. And he's not the second coming of Jesus H. Christ. Good coach, but definitely not the second coming. So, man, Hey, Camilio just hit me up. Camilio said, I hear you. Tony Delk. AJ, you should try to get Rex Chapman. He does a podcast out of New York. Let me tell you something. If I get Rex Chapman on the show, I'm probably going to have a stargazing moment. I'm probably going to be like, do you know Rex, Jennifer?
I do not, so I would probably be the same way. I'd be going.
I was telling them there was a new show that debuted on the BS3 network. That's the network that has us on Roku. And it's called Cats Talk. And they talk about the UK Wildcats. I grew up a big-time UK fan. Dickie Beale and some of them cats, man. Rex Chapman, Kenny Skywalker. You know, they had some players back in the day. Duke always broke my heart. LSU got us one year. You know, so somebody just said I should get Rex Chapman on the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
But I'll be stargazing like crazy. Listen, let me take a quick break and let's get into it. It's Freestyle Friday, so we can talk about everything today, okay?
Hey, I'm ready. I'm down. I got my hair free. I freed the hair just for Freestyle Friday.
Man, what Lizzo say? I throw my head back.
Exactly.
All right, we'll be right back with Dr. J and more of your talk on Freestyle Friday right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Here's a message from the mayor.
Mayor Sylvester Turner. I wake up every day to work for our community, and Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo does too. When the pandemic hit, she put people ahead of politics and fought for our communities. When they came after our right to vote, she fought back by extending voting hours and tripling early vote locations. I'm with Lena Hidalgo because she's with us. Join me in voting for Lena Hidalgo. Early vote is February 14th to February 25th. Election day is March the 1st.
Political advertisement paid for by Lena Hidalgo for Harris County.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m., and all new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
You're having your lunch on the lunch break. It's KYOK.
All right, y'all. We're back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We're streaming live, KYOKradio.org. And on time, BS3 just checked in. Ben Sutter III just checked in. B, y'all got some great shows on the network, man. Doing a great job. And thank you for getting KYOK and the lunch break locked on Roku. I'm happy, man. I'm happy. Roku reaches like millions of homes.
Absolutely. And all devices. So that's what I love about Roku. Like everywhere you go, if you have Roku connected, then it's with you.
Yeah, real talk, man. Don't tell nobody. It's just you and me talking. On Sunday mornings, I teach a minister's class, and then I got a little break before we start our service. In between that little break, I fire up my Roku. I drop down BS3 TV. I watch my guy Ivan. I watch some of the other shows, and it's just, I'm telling you, it's good stuff. It is really good stuff. So I ain't telling you nothing that I wouldn't say to their face.
That's right. Well, you know, it's entertainment at your fingertips, like truly. So that's what I love about it the most.
Yeah, a long time ago, I cut the cord with cable. I was paying like $250 for cable, and I swear I would go through, ain't nothing on. And I was traveling 75% of the time. So my sofa was getting the benefit of the $250 for cable.
Well, you were paying for the people who had cut the cord. Because I find that the prices kept going up, but I didn't see some dramatic service that you're suddenly getting. And to your point, there are certain channels Yeah, I might have them, but I'm never going to watch duck hunting. Okay, let's just be real. Let's just be real about this. I
Dr.
would
J,
never watch it.
don't hate on
Never
the
watch
duck
it.
hunters, girl.
Well, I don't like hunting, period. I
What's
don't like
that
the
show
concept of
where the
hunting.
people would take their arm and they would reach down under the water and then they pull up this big old catfish wrapped around their arm? That was on TV too.
Well, I don't know, but somehow Chris likes those shows. So every now and then, I don't know how we managed to end up on this, but we'll watch the ones where they're getting the alligators, or and so like, and it's like, like you gotta get them close, you gotta shoot them, you gotta reel them in. Like it's too stressful. It's actually too stressful for me.
Real talk, the alligator hunter here in Houston, Beaumont, surrounding areas is a young lady that's about your height. She's about 5'1". No, man, let me tell you. She's about 5'1", and whenever they have one of those big alligators that pops up in the water reserve or the ravine, they call her, and she brings her team, and they show her on the news. You got to blind them. You got to wrap around their eyes, and then they, wrap up the tail and all that kind of stuff. And she's the one that's diving on that big dog, trying to blind them. And I'm telling you, she is the alligator hunter of Houston.
No. That's a job I would never have. I would stay unemployed if that was the only gig.
Let me tell you something. I lived in Florida, where you are, and I'll never forget. I was driving from Tampa over to Miami, so I went, down the West Coast and then over that causeway or whatever they call it.
Yes.
And I didn't know at the time they were having a strike because they wouldn't put lights out there for the people that worked in those toll booths. And the people in the toll booths were saying, we'll get off late, be walking to our cars, and there are alligators out there. And them bad boys can run real fast.
Oh, yes, they're fast.
And I'm like, why are these people having to fight to say they put some lights out there for them people?
Thank you. Poor people having to run in a zigzag to save their lives, because that's how you outrun an alligator. You have to run in a zigzag. But the idea that you even need to do that just to get to your car to go home from work is ridiculous. From work. Right. But helping out somebody else.
You know what's crazy is the fact that you got to run in a zigzag. That's crazy that you know that.
Because my last name ends in EAUX, so you can't be in a Bayou place. You cannot have Bayou family and not understand running a zigzag.
All right, now here's a crazy question, Dr. J. Have you eaten more alligator or seen more alligator?
0. So I have seen alligator, but I refuse to eat alligator. And, obviously now I'm vegan, but even well before then, I just couldn't reconcile the concept. This is going to sound very bad. So for the vegan people who are like, save the animals, and I'm vegan for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
I can't eat a treacherous looking animal. Like, I feel like if I eat a mean animal, I become mean. So but I also couldn't eat lamb because they're just too cute. Like I couldn't eat rabbit because they're just too cute. So I was judging the meat on the animal. The cow and the pig never did, and the chicken never did anything to me. They, they all right. They kind of in the middle. They're not mean, they're not cute, they're not ugly, they're all in the middle. So I was okay back when I was a meat eater. But no, crocodile, alligator, all that, they mean.
You can tell Ben Sutter III spent some time in the country. You can tell he spent some time in the country because he said gator tastes just like chicken. My grandmother in Darrow, Louisiana would swear anything that my grandfather, squirrel, rabbit, coon, possum, alligator, anything that he brought home, it tastes just like chicken.
No. Well, I had ostrich once. That's the only like weird thing I had was ostrich.
And ostrich
in Tampa, Florida, believe it or not. And it was well before I lived here. I was just in town on business, and the people at the office said, oh, you've got to eat at this place, and they're known for their ostrich. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of like hostage with them. So we go, and I asked the waiter, what does ostrich taste like? Right, because I'm still nervous about this. And he tells me it tastes like chicken. Okay, so that's my expectation. So when something tastes like it, you also expect it to look like it as well, right? Texture and everything else. So he brings this thing to me that looks like beef. Like it looks the furthest from chicken, and I gave it like a half-hearted taste, and it had some weird oily taste to it. I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm done. This doesn't taste like chicken, don't look like chicken, doesn't smell like chicken. Obviously, he had never even seen it because no way the waiter would tell me tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
But probably he was told that just say that they'll order it.
Yeah.
And I did order it, and I was done. But apparently ostrich makes a lot of meat. Like one ostrich makes a ton of meat. Oh yeah, it's like a whole thing. It's actually a whole thing. So it's like big business to be.
I was today's years old when I found out that ostrich makes a lot of meat. Trey Pike has jumped on. Trey Pike, Freestyle Friday, BS3, you're right. Gator as well as rattlesnake. And I've eaten that too.
See, that's a mean animal. See, I can't do mean. I can't eat mean.
Dr. J, let me tell you something. I have eaten everything from the Rudy to the Tootie. My sister, a year older than me, Malia, wouldn't eat anything. She'll just be like, I'm just going to starve and I'll never go outside because I'm not eating that. You can tell me I can't go outside. I'm just not. I'm the one that's going to try anything and everything. And I've traveled abroad. So I've tried whatever the local cuisine is there, no matter what it was. Monkey brains, Have
you really had monkey brain?
Yeah.
Okay, how did that taste?
Let's just say I'll never try it again. I mean, I'm that guy. I will try anything one time. It doesn't mean I'm gonna try it again, but I can at least say I tried. I'm like this, man. It's a big world out there. And if I am blessed to see it, I want to try something from that area. So I've been on a motorcycle taxi. I've been on one of those taxis where it's like a minivan and there's 89 people hanging off of it. And when one person jumps off, you got to be the one to jump on. And there's no such thing as that's my stuff. You just jump off when you got to get off. I tried that and it was cool. I loved it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am daring on that front, but food, like when I travel, I'll eat the thing that's there, but I cannot eat. I can't eat an exotic animal. And of course, obviously now I don't eat meat at all. But monkey brain, do you know how cute monkeys are? Come on now, Bubbles, like for real. Like in the monkey family, like how could you do it? Come on now.
Hey, I ate Bubbles' cousin's brain. And
How
it was
could
one of
you
those
do
deals
that?
where they had it underneath one of those metal deals. You pull it up. There's the head of the monkey.
You saw the monkey?
Yeah.
And you still ate the monkey?
Yeah, they lift up his scalp and it's been prepared. Yeah. He wasn't looking at me. I mean, he didn't see me. I saw him. He didn't see me.
Which is why at a luau, even when I was a meat eater, if I saw that pig, like the whole pig, done. I'm done. I'm done. I can't see the snout. No.
That was my favorite.
Can't do it.
That was my favorite. Okay, CJ said, not true, but coon, deer, and gator is good. Now, I got a question for you. I'm a pescatarian. You are a vegan.
Yes.
So I still rock with stuff that comes out of the water.
Okay.
Can I eat gator still?
Ooh, I bet you cannot. That's a very good question. I bet you cannot.
Pescatarians all over the world that are listening to the lunch break right now, I need to know, can I still eat gator? Because technically they come out of the water.
That's right. I would say no. I would say no.
Say no. Why you hate it?
Because gators are mean anyway. You don't need to consume the mean. Come on.
How you know you ain't eat a mad pig? There's some pigs out there that you out their yard. You better.
Oh, I bet I did. I bet I have had some of all that, which is why I cut it all out.
Let me tell you something. I used to go get the eggs out of the coop for my grandmother. And man, people always say, watch out for the rooster, watch out for the rooster. Some of those chickens were crazy too.
Oh, yeah, you were taking their babies.
Wait a minute.
That's all I'm saying.
Hennick said, technically, you could eat duck.
Who?
That's what
you?
Yeah.
You as a pescatarian. Oh, yeah, I'm not a duck person.
Yeah.
I didn't do Cornish hens. I was so I was destined to become vegan, okay? Because I had all these little silly, all these rules. Oh, this animal's too cute. This one is too mean. This is this. Like I was destined. I've been crossing off the animals like my whole life. So I was literally down to turkey and chicken. Like I would, because I was not doing beef hardly at all, and not pork. So I just little by little. I think the hardest thing for me to let go of was bacon.
Yeah.
That was it. Bacon is so delicious. It's just, and McCormick makes an amazing bacon bacon and chive spice. Oh Lord Jesus, it just transforms all your food.
Bacon and pork chops. I was a pork chop guy. When I was a single dad with my oldest son, I would get the family pack of pork chops, and then I would look at my son and say, "Okay, so now what do you want to eat?"
I
mean, hey, these mine. This my meal.
That's how much you like them,
baby. I love.
See, I was a country stout. Now I still cook. Like if I cook for others, like if we're at family and meals need to be cooked, I still cook meat for other people to eat. So I'm a country style rib boy. I can tear up and make an amazing country style rib, or pork or my pork steaks. Oh my goodness. Or like a stuffed roast. Oh, I've done some amazing meals. I really love to cook, which has made it a unique challenge to cook vegan style, but still cook with all my spices and everything. The only thing I had to let go of was that bacon and chive spice. And that was hard. You actually had to pry it out my hand.
I gotta go off camera. I gotta wipe my mouth because baby, I'm feeding right now. You got me feeding. Be right back with Dr. J. It's Freestyle Friday. You want in like Trey Pike, smoked bacon, wrapped duck breast. I don't even know where to go with that. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
Tune into my new radio show called Candid Plug every Saturday from noon to 1. We will have engaging conversations on current events, topics that affect the community, and religion. Join me each Saturday from noon to 1 for my new show called Candid Plug, where you plus me equals us, right here on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and streaming live on KYOKradio.org.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. And if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
It's the lunch break on KYOK.
All right, y'all. Back on the lunch break. Legendary KYOK. All new 92.3 FM. Streaming live, KYOKradio.org. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku. Courtesy of BS3 TV. Dr. J hanging out with AJ on Freestyle Friday. And I know we talking about everything but sports. Let me do a serious stretch where I might have to pull my hammy. This is going to be a stretch. Have you seen the Bel Air series, the reboot?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you literally caught me at the perfect time. We put it on last night. We literally put it on last night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm
so mad that I'm caught up. So I finished episode 4 and now I'm waiting for the new episode to come.
I know.
Man, and it's a sports related movie because Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, plays basketball. He's a D1 recruit from Philly and got in trouble in Philly because him and his homeboy was playing a pickup game against a local street pharmacist team.
And hustler team.
Beat them, and then his homeboy was getting beat up, and Will went to the bag and got a gun out and tried to protect his friend, shot up in the air, ended up getting arrested, and the street pharmacist got arrested and threatened to kill Will and his friend. And Will, of course, has to move to Bel Air, live with his uncle, his aunt, and uncle and family. It's good.
It is very good.
Very good. It's well written. I love it. Go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I was going to say, I actually didn't have high expectations because it was different. And originally, when they talked about the project like 2 years ago, I thought it was going to be a reboot bringing the original cast back. Or some version of that. And because that's what's kind of been done, right? Only a couple of shows like 90210 came back with a new cast. Like, they brought back spot people, but really it's fundamentally a new show. And so I just assumed, because I saw the entire cast coming together in pictures, I assumed they were making it. So when I saw, they went this direction, I was like, and it seemed a lot more dramatic than funny. There was always a laugh track over the original. So I thought, okay. So but I said, it's interesting. So the trailer was interesting enough to me to say, let me at least watch the first one. So if you don't have a subscription to Peacock, you can still watch the first episode. But after you watch the first one, I guarantee you, if you don't have a subscription, you will get a subscription, because you will be hooked purely because of that show. It's done really well. I didn't get episode 4 played, but I think Dr. J was like in a deep sleep by the time the end of episode 4. So I'm gonna have to go back. Yeah, I have to go back. But I thought it's filmed well. I thought it's opening the door to touch on some important issues that young men face. That is realities. I think sometimes if you wonder, why did we get here? Right. There's always a reason. And I think it helps to plug and play and show people how different folks from different backgrounds end up exactly where they are. So yeah, I like it so far.
Let me say this. I love the upgrades. That's what I call it. I love that they did not make Hillary ditzy. I love that she's a young sister, trying to build her brand while finding who she is and doing it in the non-traditional way. She's trying to be a serious influencer, and she's not willing to compromise to water down or whitewash who she is and what she does. And she does. She makes a very serious stand with a company that her mom hooked her up with, wanted her to really whitewash her cooking and her flavor and her spice. And they literally said, that's not our target audience. Well, she took exception to that, like many of these young people do today. And she, started a movement against that company. I love it. I also love the young lady, Lisa. On the series, she was this, particular style. And I'll leave it for. But I love that they got a sister. And I love she's not a size 2. And I love that, she's just as natural as she can be. And I love that because typically Hollywood gives us the type and we just got to accept it even if we don't fit it. But I feel like this reboot, they have shown us a lot of who we really are as opposed to what you want us to believe we are.
Now, what did you think about the casting of Carlton, of the character of Carlton?
It was different. It was extremely different. And seeing some of the issues that Carlton has on the show was also make me, because I do the Carlton dance and people are like, there's Carlton. And that's not who this young man is.
Right. Like they character-wise, they went a different direction, and casting for Carlton, I think they went a different direction. I will say this. So this is from a production standpoint. The person they casted as Carlton doesn't age-wise fit to me. That's just
I can see that. that.
Now, I was so curious. It's so crazy we're talking about this. I was so curious last night. I actually looked up the actor. I looked up casting, and it's the nerdy things I do. So he's 24 years old, believe it or not. But he looks way old. Like if you would have said he was 35, I would have believed it. So it's just, from that standpoint, they probably need to do some things to youth him up a little bit because he just looks older than a high school student.
We got Dr. J and myself. It's Freestyle Friday, so we're talking about Bel Air. the reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He is a D1 athlete, had to move to California to get away from some trouble. Jeffrey is my dude.
Like Jeffrey.
I leaned over and said, we need a Jeffrey. We got to get a Jeffrey on our team. Like, baby, when I tell you I'm moguling right now. I'm in mogul mode right now. I need a Jeffrey on my squad. I need a Jeffrey on my squad. Well, I don't want to know how it gets worked out, but work it out. Work it out.
Well, there's been a running joke in our house. We were watching a different show. Beverly Johnson did a show 10 years ago with her daughter, and she had a house manager, right? And I think the man's name was Robert. But she had a house manager, and Chris was like, a house manager? I said, no, house managers are really great. And so I'm like advocating for the house manager. And he's like, that's ridiculous. I said, look, if you're single, as Beverly Johnson was, and you're traveling a lot, you need someone to manage the household, and they're managing all the things that happen, make sure bills get paid. Everything is, it's a house manager. I totally get it. I co-sign. So then you fast forward last night, we're watching this show. And when he's the house manager, I say, you see, I said, everybody needs a house manager. We all need house managers.
Man, the fact that he went and found Ashley exactly where she was, walked in on her, say, you ready?
Exactly.
I'll tell y'all, it's a great show. I'm trying not to give y'all too much. One more thing.
You gotta watch it. Mm-hmm.
One more thing. I like that they took care of the Aunt Viv problem, because on the original set, original Aunt Viv got let go because she wanted to be more of who she is. She didn't want to be the rich kept housewife. She wanted to be thoughtful and smart and brilliant. And sisters are all of that.
Absolutely.
And they have found a way to make this Aunt Viv very outspoken, very but they've written it in a way where it doesn't make her look dumb. And I like it. I love it.
Although I thought the original Aunt Viv did still have, she was a professor. So I didn't see the original as necessarily a dumb character, but we didn't get a chance to see the level of her intelligence. All we knew of the Aunt Viv was that she was a professor at whatever university. And so I would just say I like to see more of this woman on this show. I will say that. I do appreciate that.
Back behind the scenes stuff was. She was fighting for more of her character development, and they weren't giving it to her.
No.
And Will supposedly didn't speak up for her. She got fired. They brought in a new Aunt Viv, and that Aunt Viv went with the flow.
Aunt Viv had a baby and she changed.
I thought it was great the way the original Aunt Viv and Will got together.
I'm so glad they did.
That was powerful. That was almost as powerful as Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas when they sat and buried some of their issues. So if you haven't started watching Bel-Air, you got to do it. All right, Dr. J, I'm overtime right now. Let me hit Sybil Wilkes, and then we'll do some birthdays, and we'll start hour number 2. Got a couple things I want to talk about, if you don't.
All right. I don't mind at all. Let's do it.
Jennifer Tebow joining us here on the lunch break. Let's get Sybil Wilkes and what you need to know today, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is, say it with me, Friday. Or Friday, February 18th, 2022. Number 1. The life of Amir Locke was celebrated Thursday. The 22-year-old black man was killed February 2nd by Minneapolis police during an early morning execution of a no-knock search warrant in which he was not named. Music provided by members of the group Sounds of Blackness included the powerful anthem, Black Lives Matter. In his eulogy, National Action Network founder Reverend Al Sharpton said Amir's only guilt was being black in America. Number 2, Vice President Kamala Harris is headed to the Munich Security Conference later this week as the threat of a Russian invasion of Ukraine still looms. U.S. officials say the Russian military presence at the border of Ukraine has increased by as much as 7,000 additional troops. Ms. Harris will deliver a speech Saturday as a formal part of the conference, where she is expected to address the situation at Ukraine's border and the threat of Russian aggression. Number 3, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of the CDC, said she is cautiously optimistic about the downward trend in Omicron-fueled COVID-19 cases. The United States is averaging about 147,000 COVID cases per day, a 40% decrease from the previous week. As the pandemic outlook improves across the U.S., public health officials want to give Americans a break from mitigation measures such as wearing masks. Number 4, Texas Tech University released a letter Tuesday via email concerning the recent murder of a member of the LGBTQIA community. The victim was publicly identified as Cypress Ramos, age 21. Alan Montemayor was arrested by the police and has been charged with murder. Texas Tech said the Lubbock Police Department has made an arrest in connection to the murder, and early information suggests the assailant knew the victim. Number 5, Nikki Porcher's Atlanta-based platform, Buy from a Black Woman, is closing the racial wealth gap by helping Black women business owners gain the resources and access to funding that are needed during the launch of a new business. By providing crucial support for these business owners to grow beyond the 3-year stage, Porcher is transforming lives and providing the foundation, the financial well-being of future generations. More than 50 business owners have graduated from the Accelerator program since its inception. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Choose to celebrate you. All right. Once again, yay me. This February, during Black History Month, the American Heart Association is encouraging Black women to reclaim our rhythm and take control of the mental and physical well-being. The American Heart Association is helping empower Black women to use music to get their hearts pumping or to rest and relax. Please go to @American_Heart on Instagram and check out the different playlists offered. Then vote on your favorite. I hope you enjoy mine. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
The legendary 1140 AM AYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
All right, y'all. That is first hour on the books, second hour underway here on the legendary KYOK. Want to thank Sybil Wilkes for What You Need to Know. And I want to thank Jennifer, Dr. J, Tebow, for joining me on this Freestyle Friday. A lot of folks giving us some love. Talking about we crazy, Dr. J. They crazy if they ain't eating no good Gatorade. If you're a pescatarian and you're not eating Gator next to your salmon, it comes out of the water. It comes out of the water. Dr. J, we got to do birthdays, though, before we go. Got to do birthdays. Happy birthday to Anthony Smith. He's 41 today. Happy birthday to Gregory Smith. He's 68. Dr. J, a young man from Kenya by the name of Maloba, just one name, is 34 years young today. He's doing some great things over there in Kenya. Simon Fletcher used to play for the Denver Broncos. He is 60 years old today. My good friend, and she does a lot of work with men. I love her. Stephanie McKenzie celebrating her birthday with Alice Davis. She's 39. Tammy Shelton from a high school. Tammy Kaiser from a high school. Good friend Demetria Glenn. Laylo, she is funny, celebrating her birthday. Tammy Wilkerson. Pastor Tabitha C. Witten celebrating her birthday, along with Justin Childress. He was my roommate when I went to Kenya I keep wanting to make it like it was last year. Girl, that was 2012.
Oh, 10 years. Last 10 years ago.
Yeah. 10 years ago. Last 10 years ago. That's when we were in Kenya. Let me get a couple of more celebrity birthdays out real quick. Happy birthday going out to Leroy Keys. He is a Hall of Fame running back, played at Purdue, the Philadelphia Eagles, and with Kansas City. He was born in Newport News, Virginia. He passed away, though, last year. And George the Gipper Gipp That's where we got the name Win One from.
Do it for the gift. Yeah, do it for the
He was
gift.
born on this day back in 1895. Of course, he
Wow.
played at Notre Dame. So, without further ado, since Dr. J don't want to sing for us,
No, I'm saving everyone's ears. Saving
ahead,
everyone's ears.
go ahead.
I'm not. I can introduce Usher.
The lunch break on KYOK.
That's all I got. I ain't got Usher. Dr. J, sing for us.
Oh no, you don't want that. You don't. You do not want that. Well, and today is not my day to sing birthdays because Chris and I tried to call in to our sister-in-law and sing happy birthday. We called the wrong person. Thank God that person didn't answer because we have this whole birthday routine and we would have gone right in and the person on the phone would have been going, "It's not my birthday."
That is so funny.
Thank God we got voicemail.
All right, Usher, you ready this time?
Go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to everybody celebrating a birthday or an anniversary today. We appreciate you, and we want you to know that you are loved. It's the second hour of the lunch break, and we're about to get it in. Dr. J, there's a couple of things going on out there that I want to talk about. And I know you just sent me something too. Okay.
I'm trying to keep a straight face for it.
Let's do this one next. Can we do this one next?
For sure.
Super Bowl parade in LA. LA Rams won Super Bowl 56. Matthew Stafford and his wife were side by side. And a reporter was on stage and they handed her a phone to take their picture. She's backing up to give it some distance and literally falls off the stage. Apparently suffered a broken spine. Matthew Stafford says, "Oh my God," and turns around, sipping water, walking off. His wife did walk up to see if the young lady was okay. We've since learned, after some backlash, that Matthew Stafford and his wife have communicated with the young lady and are going to pay her medical bills. Now let's do that part first. What do you think?
Okay.
What's your feedback? I'm listening.
Okay, so I mean, I think it's a smart move for them to pay for the woman's medical bills because in the law, not that I am an attorney yet, but in the law, it's all about what caused something. You know, if you caused the injury, then you need to compensate for the damage. Like that's the basics of the law. So you're telling me that they handed this young lady the phone to take a picture? And so they've now it's like almost employment, right? They've now directed her to do something. Okay. So she was following orders at that point. She didn't take necessary precaution, but accidents happen on the job all the time where the employer is responsible for the injury of the employee. So, I mean, while it's the right thing to do for them to pay for her injuries and medical care, probably if it went into a legal process, they would be paying for it anyway. And so, justice is about equity and about, bringing people back to the moment right before the bad event happened. So, they're just doing now what would probably happen in a legal case. And I think that's the right move.
Yeah. A lot of folks are just saying that they're doing it only because of the backlash that he got for turning around, walking away.
Do you think? Well, but people are forgetting. Okay, AJ, you won the Super Bowl. You're the quarterback. In the parade, don't you think you've had a drink or two? Maybe, perhaps.
I'm a little bit.
Don't you think that you probably have had a drink? Look, marijuana is legal in California. So don't you think even the girl might have been the girl that backed up, that falling off might have just literally been because she was also not quite where she needed to be. People act like everyone's in their sound right mind. And so that when he saw something terrible, he was callous and said, oh, well, had this, but there's so much stuff happening. So many people vying for your attention. Look here, look there, say this, say that at that moment. I think it's hard for people to really imagine if you're not on a stage like that, all the things that are happening at the same time. So,
yeah, her name is Kelly Smiley. And I know it not because of her fall, but we have since learned that she's got several tweets that are of a racial nature.
Oh, ugly.
Where she's using the N-word with an A on the end of it frequently.
Okay.
Frequently. Like not once, not twice, a good 13, 14, 15 that we know about.
Okay.
So now the whole thing is, we felt bad for you when you fell and he turned away. Now you and your back and your cell phone and whatever they're going to cover for you, get it on out of here. What are your thoughts about how they dug that up on her and now bringing it up to some kind of way? I don't want to say justify, but, almost like, see, Matthew Stafford is not as bad as y'all think because look who this woman is.
Oh, that's very probable that's why that information surfaced. But look, I don't like when people use those words and the terminology and they incorporate into their normal regular tweets. I mean, if you're tweeting about it, Lord, when you're talking about it live, I can only imagine what's happening if you're going to type it. But everyone's afforded the same rights of freedom of speech, and so I can't negatively judge her for her choice. We can't pull those things down. If they're inflammatory, if they're bullying, if they're harassing, that's a different nature. If somebody wants to use terminology as much as I don't like it, we do have to respect everyone's rights. Now, that being said, there's a lot at play when you're talking about sports and entertainment because those two go together, right?
They do. Yep.
It's not just sports. What you put out on the field, on a court, that's a sports product, and that's part of entertainment. You have to entertain fans in order for this whole thing to work. So it's really sports entertainment. And so when a sports entertainment figure is being threatened, right, his image, then it is very common to balance out what the public sees. That's a common tactic in the sports entertainment industry. And so I'm not surprised. It's unfortunate because if I were to run over their foot and break their foot, I owe them for breaking their foot. It doesn't matter if they're a bad person or a good person. If I created a damage, that's what I did. But I just think people are focusing on Matt's reaction when there could have been so many other things. And I know that there were so many other things going on that to freeze frame something and not be fully aware of what all is happening. That's not fair to him.
Right. And I'm always curious who's got the time to go all through somebody's text and tweets and all of that to find that stuff just to try and make somebody that you like feel better.
Well, can I let you in on a secret?
Yeah.
So that technology to go through people's tweets and their social media, it was created for law enforcement. For law enforcement and for in the legal profession. So if you needed to, grab social media and submit it for cases and for evidence, but media uses it to be able to quickly find. So it's literally a matter of plugging a person's tag in, the @GenTebow, and you put it into that particular software. There's more than one brand. And then I can just search, when did this word come up? And it would then immediately show me the tweets. So you don't even have to go page by page anymore.
Wait, hold on.
This is how they're finding old stuff.
Let me tell you something. What I'm gonna say is probably going to be parallel to probably being maybe a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say it. If I got to qualify this much, I shouldn't say it. But there's some good sisters out there that could have found Osama bin Laden long before Obama and them got him. There's some good sisters out there, baby, who can find stuff you forgot about. They can find old girlfriends and old marriages and old living together situations that you don't even remember. Baby, I'm trying to tell. So I feel like one of the enterprising sisters done found her a business niche and done put some software. Girl, all you gotta do is plug that stuff in here, and everything you looking for pop up. I'm just saying.
But seriously, like the software is there. So if you ever pay attention, TMZ is really good at this because they use the actual software. But when they'll show you a tweet was put up for only a little bit and taken down, and you're like, how did they get that tweet? It's because they have that particular celebrity running through that software that's capturing every single post. So if it gets taken down, it doesn't matter because they have it, because the software captures every single post. And so again, when you hear of those things, know that there's a bigger system in play that's happening. Yeah, someone didn't page through. They actually put it through that software. They searched and found all the tweets just like that. So that's how you're finding tweets from 10, 12, 15 years ago.
I got you. Ivan says, I better shut up about this one. Ivan, don't shut up. Ivan, the number, 281-453-1000. 281-453-1000. Just don't cuss, but don't shut up. Yeah, just shut up. 281-453-1000. Call me, Ivan. I want to hear from you. Now, here's some other breaking news. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back, and I want to talk about what you sent me. The former Minnesota police officer, Kimberly Potter, who thought she was using a taser on Dante Wright and who was convicted of what, both first degree and second degree manslaughter, was sentenced to 24 months, 2/3 of the sentence in prison, and the final third on supervised release.
Yes, indeed.
You don't have to suffer much for killing us. You don't. You don't. You get like a 2-year vacation. Like you just don't have to work for 2 years.
And just so that you know, the guideline for those convictions is 7.5 years. Yeah. And so, the judges typically go with the guideline unless they have a reason to go above it or below it. And the judge basically said that she made a terrible mistake and that she's not a danger to society.
If you don't know the difference between a taser and a Glock, you're a danger to society. Because you have the authority, you have the badge, and you have the immunity to go out and make as many mistakes as you want to, and you're not a danger to society. The guy on Instagram, that somebody does something dumb and he shows them how dumb it is, and that's dumb.
Yeah, that is absolutely. It's I watched that case. I was really fascinated by what was happening in the courtroom. So I stayed very close to it. They made a important decision to make her look like a grandmother that bakes cookies. If you look at all the images of her in the courtroom, and she is always with the pearls, with the looking like she smells like chocolate chip cookies. And because it's hard to convict a person that looks like they'll bring you an apple pie. And they went with this was simply a mistake. This was a mistake. They went with admitting the truth, but the defense of it was a mistake they were hoping to get this lowered sentence, which they got. Now, you have the ability to appeal things.
I was wondering about that. Can they appeal the leniency of the?
Absolutely, you sure can. The same way you can appeal a sentence that is just egregious, that goes well above, just like the truck driver that got 104 years, right? So you have that ability. So it's not over. It's unfortunate though that it has to continue for the family of Dante Wright, for them to feel as if there is justice that has been served for his killer. Because you can call it manslaughter. Manslaughter means you killed somebody. The only reason it's not first or second degree and all of this is because you have to prove that I meant to do it. I set out to do it. So if it was, oops, I accidentally killed you, whether I accidentally hit you in a car, I hit you upside the head, whatever it is, that's manslaughter. But you killed somebody. They will no longer live on this earth. And I'm sorry. I heard her testimony. I did not buy it, not one bit. I thought it was a great story. But I did not buy that, not one bit. There are so many differences in a Glock and in her service weapon that, just from the position, the color, the everything, and here's the deal. There's a thing called the amygdala hijack. When you have your amygdala hijack, as you know, all of a sudden reality is no longer in front of you anymore. And so you could not recognize your own spouse. You could not recognize your own mother if you're in the midst of an amygdala hijack. My point is this: if she is at such a weakened state emotionally where she cannot protect herself and she gets into this amygdala hijack, she will do it again. If you're telling me she can't control her emotions where they can take over to this level and she no longer has awareness of a gun and a taser, then she certainly shouldn't be a police officer. But now I'm thinking she needs to be away for a while. And and again, a conviction is a punishment for killing someone, and it's supposed to serve as a deterrent to others. So when you give a conviction of 2 years and less than 2 years, she's going to be out, then this is not a deterring factor for another police officer who would be in the same. So you've done nothing in the deterrent category for that type of conviction. That's one of the main issues I have with it.
14 months in, 7 months out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for killing a man.
Yeah. All right, let me take a break. We got a caller standing by. We'll be right back. Dr. J, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. It's Freestyle Friday.
I'm Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner. I wake up every day to work for our community, and Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo does too. When the pandemic hit, she put people ahead of politics and fought for our communities. When they came after our right to vote, she fought back by extending voting hours and tripling early vote locations. I'm with Lena Hidalgo because she's with us. Join me in voting for Lena Hidalgo. Early vote is February 14th to February 25th. Election day is March the 1st.
Political advertisement paid for by Lena Hidalgo for Harris County.
Are you looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity, Franchise 123 connects franchise buyers with sellers. And we have over 4,000 franchises for you to choose from. In one simple 30-second call, our live agents will sign you up to the platform. This is not a hard sales call either. We give you free access to our database. Yes, free access, no cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy. And right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-419-5344, 800-419-5344, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
Hey guys, this is your girl Brandy Nelson, and you are listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
All right, we're back with Dr. J here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Let me go to the phone line. Got somebody standing by. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
This is the one and only King Dog Ivan.
Oh, my goodness. Brother, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I am fantastic. My apologies. I was hoping to be off the road by the time you answered. So if there's a little wind noise or anything like that, my apologies.
Nah, bro, we're just glad to have you on the show. Ivan, you had some comments. What were they about that situation?
Well, first, before I get those comments, I want to pick a bone with you. You told me don't cuss. Don't be putting my business out there in the street. First of all, I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. I'm going to meet a pastor friend for lunch right
Ivan, you are hilarious, man, and you are talking to a professional cusser, bro. I teach people how to cuss. So don't play with me, bro. I know what I'm talking about.
But no, maybe I was too late, but I was calling about the Matt Stafford.
Yeah, no. Get in on it.
And man, when I say, I just shook my head when I heard how they getting on this brother for how he reacted. And I'm like you, where do we get the time? Number one. But, again, this brother was inebriated from celebrating his Super Bowl victory at a parade. And because he didn't respond appropriately, he didn't show enough concern, we have a problem with it. We don't know what went through his mind. Maybe he looked and said, I'm going to be more harm here than good. I can't help y'all right there. It's 10 feet down from the podium. Number one, I can't jump down there. So it wasn't much he can do anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And his wife did go and check, and those two are one. So when she went and checked, he went and checked.
You represented me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Even though she dogged him a little bit too. I don't know if you've seen her comments. She actually made a comment and said Matt didn't act very professionally that day.
I think she was trying to spin it. I think she was trying to, spin it and get it back on track because, social media now, they literally dictate the court of public opinion. And I believe she was just trying to slow that wave that was coming because it was coming.
Yeah, well, hey, as soon as I get as famous as you, Andre, it's going to be a whole bunch of tweets about me.
Ivan, do me a favor. Tell everybody what the name of your show is and when they can find it on the BS3 network.
Yeah, well, I'm a part of two podcasts on BS3 network. One is called The Forecast, and that's on Monday evenings at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Ben is on that show with me as well, and this is where we review movies, typically movies that are associated with, in some ways, the African American community.
Okay.
And we review movies. It ain't just Dad, Fiscal, and Ebert. I promise you. We review movies in a little different way. And then on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Queen, 3, and King is where I get to act a fool with my sisters. And I get to show the world how I clown them on a daily basis.
Let me tell you, Dr. J, he's got 3 queens on there that are they real and they give it back to him. And I'm scared of all 3 of them. Do you hear me?
Well, I want to see that then. I got to catch up with that podcast.
I will send you the link because it's a lot of fun. They talk about all kinds of topics. One of the topics was, why don't men text first?
Text me first. There you go.
Yeah, and that was like I had triggers going on in my girl, I ain't finna text you. You're gonna be like, oh, you thirsty? And then if I don't text fast enough, it's like, oh, you ain't interested. So I'm darned if I do, darned if I don't. So it's a lot of fun. Ivan is phenomenal. And brother, I'm telling you, you are a talent that the world needs to see.
Well, hey, I appreciate the love, man, and you done messed up my middle of the day routine because as soon as I got a load of how smooth you were, I'm like, shoot, from 12 to 2, I'm here, I'm locked.
Well,
Don't
brother,
anything for me.
I appreciate it, man, and I mean it sincerely. You be safe on the road, and we will connect soon. All right?
Okay, all right, y'all have a good one. Thanks, Don.
You too. No
That's
problem.
That is a good brother. I will send you that link because I'm telling you.
Oh, please do.
Hilarious. It is amazing.
Please do. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, there's another one about marriage talk on there, and this husband and wife, they do a great job. In fact, I sit there with like a notepad, like, oh, okay, wow, for real? Like, who knew? I didn't know that. That's
now that's one show I don't think I would do personally, like Chris and I on the show. And let me tell you why. Because I have seen so many of those shows where the husband and wife or they're doing their thing, and you look up and they're divorced. They break up.
I've seen that in some too. I've seen that in some too.
It's like a curse, you know. I'm country, so I don't give anybody a watch because that means our time is coming to an end, is ticking together, so I just have these things, and that's kind of one of them. Yeah, we would never do like a show about coupledom, that kind of stuff.
But let me tell you something real quick. On the Lunch Break Facebook page, I pinned when I had you and Chris in the studio.
Okay.
Your comments about y'all's relationship and what works for y'all and stuff, like people are still liking and responding to
Oh, wow.
that segment because
Wow.
you give them some nuggets that they like, that's something I can put in the toolbox and use
Oh,
when
sweet.
things get hard. So I just want to let you know what you have is helping a lot of people.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Well, he's my guy. He is my forever guy. So
I know that's right. I know that's right. So, Dr. J, a lot of people have made comments. In fact, Big Time Floyd said, "Are you really surprised? The Asian judge simply ruled that Black lives don't matter to her. 24 months is long enough. Only in America the struggle continues." Now, here's my thing. I'm not lumping every other culture in a pot against the Black culture. I'm not. And I'm not trying to, minimize it either. The judge, period, got emotional and made statements that I don't know are factual. I don't know if that young lady just made a mistake or not. But what I do know is the mistake was deadly. And as a result of the mistake being deadly and having been found guilty by a jury of her peers, I, as a judge, need to separate my personal opinion from the rule of law. If the normal sentence for that type of infraction is 7 years, then that's what I'm going to go with, out of respect to the family that was forever changed by this woman's mistake. It's like the judge in the Bosom Jean situation. You in there hugging, giving Bibles and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. Do that off camera, but send that woman to jail for the time that is normally recommended for that type of crime. Do that right there. You just do that right there.
Well, let me say this. So the sentencing guidelines are not as consistent as we would all love. So I'm going to bring in, I'm going to pluck some sports connected guidelines. When Plaxico Burress, when he shot himself, but with an illegal weapon, right?
Okay.
So when that happened, his charge was not him shooting himself, which I think most people didn't understand that. The charge was about him possessing the illegal weapon and firing the illegal weapon. But he pled guilty to a lesser charge of attempting to fire an illegal weapon. So he could get 2 years, by the way. So if we put up all the charges and put them by years and say, okay, what do you get for this? What if a judge gives you 5 years per the guidelines, what are all those offenses? You would be amazed at how off it is that you could have, 2 years, you could have killed somebody. But 15 years, you just had, 3 ounces of marijuana when it was illegal in the state. Like, the guidelines are not even. And that's what we try to reconcile as the regular person is, I just view the number of years as the severity of the crime, but that's not how all of the sentencing guidelines were originally drafted.
Yeah, I got you.
So that's where we have such a disconnect and we have such reform. You talk about prison reform, but in sentencing, there's got to be a tremendous amount of reform because the number of years you take away someone's freedom should coincide with the severity of the actual crime. And it does not. It's not consistent across state, federally. It's just not consistent. Every judge has a choice to make. They get the recommendation. The prosecutor will say, this is what we're going for. If the prosecutor is going above the guidelines, the prosecutor is going to give evidence as to the reason why the judge should go above the guidelines. The prosecutor suggested the guidelines, 7.5 years. The judge then, though, can go whichever direction that they want to go, including she could have been released on her own recognizance for time served. Like, there's literally a variety of options that would have basically made everyone hit the floor. So the danger is that judges have that level of power. And even after all of the hoopla and all of the efforts to actually get a conviction, that a judge could turn it around that significantly and go outside of the guidelines. And the rationale to me is flawed. I'm quite sure that they will appeal it because to say, well, it's just a mistake, you're going to pull a number of cases where the person simply made a mistake, but they still are destined to serve the guidelines.
Yeah, I always wonder if, in a case like this, can his family then turn around and sue her for wrongful death?
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Yeah,
yes, in civil, absolutely.
yeah,
And yep.
that's how they got OJ.
Mhm,
OJ
mhm,
was found not guilty of
mhm,
murders, but then they turned around and sued him for wrongful death, where the
mhm,
burden of proof is a lot lower. The threshold for proof is a
mhm.
lot lower, and they got that. And to this day, they still go and pick up checks from him.
Yep, but very very few checks, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, I
And
got it. I got it. And I throw that out there to irritate some people who just,
Mhm, mhm.
if that's the one brother that got away to go along with all the Brock Turners out there. For those who don't know Brock Turner, he's the racist former swimmer. No, I'm sorry, not racist. Let me take that back because I don't know that to be true. He's the former rapist swimmer for Stanford that decided it was a good idea to drag a drunk woman behind a trash can and sexually assault her, got knocked off of her by some good witnesses that wouldn't let him have his way with that girl. And the judge gave him literally less than 6 months because he didn't want to ruin the young man's life. I remember in college, I got stopped for an expired license plate and brake tag. In New Orleans, we had those brake tags, so that had to be up to date. And then the officer, when I gave him my driver's license, it was 2 days late. It was 2 days behind my birthday. So the officer was like, I can't write a ticket on an expired license. So I got to take you. I said, you're taking me to jail? He goes, yeah, I got to take you in. I spent more time in jail for an expired license, brake tag, and license plate than Brock Turner, who was caught sexually assaulting a woman. I spent more time in jail than he did.
Absolutely. And
in Louisiana.
Right. And see, therein lies the problem. We don't have enough of the right-minded people. I'm not talking about left wing, right wing. I mean, people who are interested in having positive outcomes for the community. We don't have enough of those people in law enforcement. If we don't have enough of those people that are running for office, because those types of circumstances should not exist. I mean, even I was look. They illegally stopped me here in Florida. So, brought a K9 unit. 4 cars descended on me, and little Dr. J was just eating a little salad at Wendy's. I mean, I was about to go get some detergent. We talking about I was doing nothing. I had a rental car at the time, and that had Texas plates, by the way. So the irony in that, but I was literally told that this was routine. And at the time, I was not aware of my rights. And so I went with what they said, because what else are you going to do? I just kept someone on the phone so they could at least hear if I got beat down, tased, or anything else, and could try to call somebody to help me. But it's awful the way the disparities of treatment of different people. Again, Plaxico Burress got 2 years for effectively shooting himself with an illegal firearm. 2 years.
You know what's crazy, Dr. J? In Texas right now, what's an illegal firearm? You don't have to have a license to carry it. You just have to have a gun. So he would not have had an illegal firearm, and I doubt they would have wasted time and money on trying him for shooting himself. You shot yourself.
Yeah, yourself. Okay. You shot yourself.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But see, there's no crime in shooting yourself. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
But it was his possession of the illegal firearm and his firing an illegal firearm. That was like he could have had 7-8 years. Yeah. Had he gone to trial and they found him guilty of his original charges, because he pled guilty to the last charge, to the plea. Again, it's sometimes for the living, the charges are a lot different than if you just died. If somebody had died in the circumstance, it is just, again, all the guidelines are all over the map. They're not consistent state by state, because states are able to run their own laws. And that's just the way that we're structured. And we get angry because of it constantly. But I will make this point. The same with Colin Kaepernick, when people were upset on the way he chose to protest. We do that a lot as people. We judge people's reaction. We want them to do it the way that we expect them to do it. So Matt Stafford, if someone fell, you expect him to do what? Like you said, jump down there too? Like what was the appropriate thing? Because I don't believe there will ever be a consensus. So it didn't really matter. I will tell you, no matter what he did, somebody was going to find fault in his reaction, whether it was good, bad, happy, or sad. And then, here we are playing the blame game and having fun with our Twitter fingers. That's just, it's sadly the way that we waste some of our energy sometimes.
Yeah. I got to tell you, that was one of the storylines that came out in Bel Air.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Phil was having a fundraiser at a skating
Mm-hmm.
rink, and his friend, who was the chief of the LA Police Department, one of the largest police departments in the world, was right there. And the question came up about defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't have this discussion, but I'm fitting up. We in Texas. I'm in Texas. I'm fitting up.
Uh-huh.
I'm not on the defund the police bandwagon. I'm not, and I'll tell you why. If somebody tries to take my life and they're holding a gun on me, I don't want a social worker to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to stop that person mentally. I want you to stop that person physically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's a mental health crisis, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to defund the police. I may want to reorganize and restructure who reports to what.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a trigger-happy officer coming to de-escalate my son or my daughter or my niece, my nephew, my neighbor who's having a mental health crisis. I just feel like there are things that we can do differently, but the whole defund the police thing is more of a slogan and a political battle cry than it is a reality. Let's get to real solutions. Let's look at every time this happened and a police officer showed up, more often than not, it went bad because officers are trained to do some other stuff than just de-escalate. So, your thoughts?
Well, for me, the defund the police, to your point, is a great marketing campaign. It sounds flashy because it sounds like a punch at a reaction to police. We will take away your money, so that way you cannot do this to us again. But simply taking away and applying it in a different area is not the solution. I actually feel the opposite of defund the police. I like the social worker component. I like the social services, but let's add it to what's existing. Let's not take away anything. They need more resources.
Right.
Chris and I had a chance to sit down with Chief Fenner. And at the time, Chief Acevedo, at the time, Chief Acevedo was the chief. But we got a chance to spend a lot of time with Chief Fenner and just talk about the challenges. And to this day, I keep up with Chief Fenner today, and really focusing on violent crimes, particularly in Houston. And the challenge is the number of officers that have to cover the amount that they cover. It's just not enough. There are not enough police officers to get to everything that we deal with.
Right.
And the challenges exist for training, and the challenges exist bringing community together. That's what I loved about Chief Fenner so much in Houston, is his interest in creating community events and projects that make sure that you have neighborhoods that they know their officer,
right?
That the people who police there live there. Like, all of those elements are so important. So I do see in the city of Houston that those changes are coming. I believe Mayor Turner and Chief Fenner announced something pretty recently about a new initiative, in fact, to focus on that. And so to me, that is the right approach to be able to bring more resources and new ideas and fresh ideas. Yes, it has to change. You cannot leave it alone.
Right.
We can't leave it the same and expect a different result. But I think the officers need more support from the community. And the community can't just, let's be honest, the community can't just sit back and say, fix it, fix it, fix it. It takes all of us to fix this. Like, we all must be involved in making sure we have a safer community, and that everyone that goes to sleep at night, that wakes up, that God said was supposed to wake up. Like, we're supposed to all be a part of this actively.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the case, that we all need to be a part of it. Now, there is a part that I would change,
Okay.
and that's the immunity part,
Mm-hmm.
where officers have immunity to go out and make the mistakes that they make without many consequences to the mistake that was made. The no-knock warrants, you got all the authority. You're walking in with all the firepower. Somebody is waking up out of a deep sleep, don't know if somebody has broken into their home. They reach over to get a gun and they're dead, and you just have no responsibility or accountability for that. I'm not saying you should instantly be convicted, but you should have to go through the process of explaining your actions and your reactions. And when you remove that immunity and you are allowed to be, charged and prosecuted and have to face a jury of your peers, to me, it'll make somebody check their behavior before they just start shooting aimlessly. So let me finish the thought for a quick second. So I, as a citizen who has not been trained, have to have all my faculties in check every second of the encounter from beginning to end. But you, as a trained professional with unlimited power and resources, don't have to be, and you're protected by some form of immunity. I think that's out of order. I think it's misguided. I think it's misapplied.
Well, let me clarify this for a second.
All right.
A lot of people think that officers have this automatic immunity, and that's actually not the truth. That's a legal defense for them to have that level of immunity that has to be asserted if they're in court. So what happens when an incident happens, like, an officer shoots and kills a person? When that incident happens, the investigators will determine if they have enough evidence to charge them beyond the legal defense of immunity. And so when you see an officer not be charged, it's because of whatever they've gathered. They've determined that the legal defense of immunity would probably get them out of that charge, and so they choose not to prosecute because all of the evidence will point to that legal defense will survive. And so it's not an automatic. So that's number one. Number two, on your no-knock warrants, okay? A lot of states are starting to back off of the no-knock warrants for several reasons. The officers that tend to go out on no-knock warrants are not trained to the level they need to be. They are shooting a lot of people in their sleep, where there was no threat to the officer themselves. They're shooting into the dark when they don't know who they could be shooting, if there is a child in the home. So there are a lot of flaws with the idea of storming in for a no-knock warrant, as we saw with Breonna Taylor.
Yep.
And
the man got charged with everything but what he did. You killed a woman who you were not looking for, and you charged because your bullets that you used to kill that woman with went into somebody else's apartment and could have killed somebody else.
Absolutely. Well, and again, it's the way that the law is crafted. So it's very flawed. Like in the state of Kentucky, the way that law was crafted, and that's all they can depend on. Like that's the scary part. We have laws that can create really bad outcomes for victims and for the families of victims. We have laws that create bad outcomes because the perpetrator is not going to have a consequence, because that's the way, the slippery way some laws are written. So yes, he was charged because he shot into an apartment knowing that that bullet, should it hit a wall, was going to go through and endanger someone else. That was his charge. But because they were fired upon in the Breonna Taylor case, that's what they relied on by virtue of the definition. Because they were fired upon, then he was firing back for his own protection. And I hate that. I hate that 1000%. I literally did a paper on this, and it drove me nuts, because how could you do that? I looked at every single angle, but you always have to point to the law of the land. So the law in the state of Kentucky allowed for that. Now, not saying that they came in the door knowing that, okay? So I'm not saying they had this malicious, like, okay, I know I can get away with this. But the reality is when the prosecutor had an opportunity to review the DA, that's all the charges that could stick. And this went in front of a grand jury.
Yeah, I know. I give Kim Ogg some credit, current Harris County District Attorney, when a no-knock warrant went wrong here. I mean, before Officer Goins got out of the hospital, she had him handcuffed to his bed.
Absolutely.
Had him removed from his assignment as a Houston police officer. And you know, I mean, she went right to it. We didn't have a Breonna Taylor type situation here in Houston.
Well, I tell you what, you can always tell the so-called proverbial good cop, because good cops can't stand bad cops.
Yeah.
And you can literally see it in their faces. Like, that's one thing that they want to root out of law enforcement, are the bad cops, because it makes their job so much more difficult, just relationships with the community, because a majority of officers are not bad officers.
Yeah, I believe that now. I believe that. I pastor a church over in a want in Houston that is very underserved. A lot of people, look like me and you, and they just want the same protections that you get down the street in Bel Air. I mean, in Pearland, they want the same protections that you get up the block in Bel Air. They want the same protections that they get in other places surrounding our area. That is being gentrified. A lot of folks coming in and building their big time homes and want to be in the new Midtown, is what they're starting to call it. And again, I want the, and I believe Chief Fenner has that same mentality. He's got that same.
Oh, absolutely. He's
our community. I know
he's so genuine. He's so genuine and honest and loves Houston. I caught that vibe. Just, I mean, he has a love for the city, and that's a person that. The person who's at the top of your law enforcement, they have to have that. They have to be interested in all the outcomes for everyone in the community.
In my church, we have Houston police officers. We have officers from Texas Southern University. We have deputy sheriffs. We have constables. And I pray over them, because I know they're good people. And I don't want them to get caught up in the mistakes and the bad stuff of the bad people. And they do a lot of community outreach. They bring in, their fellow officers to talk to our members and community. Because I'm not all about our members. I'm about our community. We're a church in the community. We're not the church of the community. So we want to make sure that we do something for everybody. Because if we're not serving our community, we're just taking up space. And
absolutely,
they bring in folks. The Meet the Neighbor night. They hold questions and answers and comments in our facility, and I appreciate them doing that, because they don't have to do it.
Absolutely. Well, interesting enough, Chief Fenner said when we met with him for a while and talked, he said one of the citizens in the community that tends to turn into an officer the most are people who played sports in high school. He said we see that more often than not. The student, male or female, that played in sports, eventually, if they stayed in that town, they became the officer. And he loved that connection, because now you've got an officer that went to the school that was right there, and people know them. People never left. And so they actually love that pathway to be able to, encourage people to go into law enforcement, and not just as an officer. You could be an attorney or anything, or a judge or anything else. But that's what, to me, that's why I love the community work and the outreach that he's spearheading, because he's trying to build that pipeline, because it is a pipeline. It's going to take a pipeline to create a different type of officer relationship with the community.
Yeah. Dr. J, we got to run a couple of quick commercials, and then we'll come back and wrap it up right after this. I agree with you, Ivan. Dr. J has been a fantastic guest. She always is.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you.
All right, y'all. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
Hi, this is Candace Houston. Tune into my new radio show called Candid Plug. Every Saturday from noon to 1, we will have engaging conversations on current events, topics that affect the community, and religion. Join me each Saturday from noon to 1 for my new show called Candid Plug, where you plus me equals us. right here on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and streaming live on KYOKradio.org.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Hey, you want some sports with your lunch? Well, tune in to the legendary KYOK at the lunch break. And I'm Raven Rogers.
Raven Rogers, Olympic bronze medalist in the 800 meters. And she's been killing it internationally in track and field ever since. So, Dr. J, we got to get ready to wrap this one up. Man, my mind is playing tricks on me. Some of these stories and topics that we've been dealing with are just unbelievable. I got to give some love to Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald say, I'll be back if y'all run it back. Y'all bring back Odell Beckham Jr. Y'all bring back Von Miller. I'm back. And I love that. I love that. Aaron Donald say, listen, conditionally do this, we do it again. Don't do that.
I'm not mad at him. Let me tell you, Aaron Donald has a super fan in Chris Dishman. Every time we're watching him play, he's just incredible. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah. I call him the best defensive player in the NFL, bar none.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love what JJ did when he was here, but Aaron Donald is a dude that can do it from anywhere on the field, even
it's his speed.
in the middle of the line.
It's his speed. It's his speed. There's so much to it. Like I said, I have gotten a clinic thanks to Aaron Donald and Chris, because Chris is like, look at this. Okay, look at this part. Look at this. And so I'm like, okay, all right. I'm learning some things. All right. I see how he got past that really quickly. All right.
Yeah. I love it. Big shout out to all of the future players in the USFL. Their draft is going to be this coming Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, there is a team here in Houston that will play in Alabama. The Houston Gamblers, led by none other than head coach Kevin Sumlin. They'll hold the number 5 pick in the upcoming draft. A head coach, who I'll never say his name again, has the number 1 pick for the Michigan team.
Fisher. Is that you talking about?
Yeah.
You have to stop holding grudges like that.
Man, I promise you right now, Dr. J, on everything I love. I see him in the airport. Come get me. Bring whatever you and Chris can afford to get me out, and come get me, because I'm taking one for the team. I'm going to beat him for Vince Young. I'm going to beat him for Vince Young's mama. I'm going to beat him for Jared Goff. I'm going to beat him for anybody else's career he loves. I got to get it. I
understand.
I'm going to hit it like Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan hit Kevin Gilbride on the sideline of the game, and Fisher was like, I don't see nothing. I'm going to hit it like Buddy Ryan hit Kevin Gilbride. I'm going to bust him in his ear hole.
God bless Buddy Ryan. He is up in heaven, probably laughing at you right now. But I will say, Kevin Gilbride is a really nice guy too. He's a really good dude. It's a shame they had conflict, because both of them are like really serious and good, excellent sports minds, but they did not get along on that day. And Buddy Ryan had no fear.
They squabbled. That's called squabbling right there.
No, you gotta take the L off. I don't know if he's on the sidelines or if he was on the field at that point. He might have been on the field, because I have asked him about that. So people, I know Chris doesn't like to talk about that because that's coaches fighting, and that's not really, but he has talked to me about it. And I asked him, but I don't remember where he was on the field. But I said, I'm sure it was eye-opening, like, Lord, the coaches are fighting. What on earth? What's happening right now?
Dr. J, we got to go. We'll be back on Monday. Talk your team. No, oh my goodness, Monday. So we'll have a lot more to talk about then. Dr. J, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you.
All right. You can always find me at jennifertebow.com and social media everywhere. I'm at Jen Tebow. And I just hope that you do follow me. I want to see my followers go up. Connect. I want to find new people.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. We do love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Dr. J, have a great rest of your weekend. All right.
You too, AJ, and everyone else.
All right. All right. We got to get ready to go. It'll be Donnie McClurkin and the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music. Latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his thing every Monday through Friday. Over the weekend, the Not So Christian in Me Show is doing a Black History Month presentation tomorrow. Robert Reed, a former NBA player, will be on the show. Y'all don't miss it. It's going to be a great one. And then when we come back on Monday, Erica Campbell and Griff, Get Up Morning, and then myself and Dr. J with Oh My Goodness Monday, and the coach, Johnny Cole, for our HBCU stroll. Again, not this, definitely this. Love y'all. We'll talk to you on Monday. Y'all take care.